It's that time for the Covrprice Top 10. This time we're going back 2 years. All right, guys, we're going to get into this top 10 from 2021, and we're going to check those prices and compare them to today's prices in 2023. Before we get into it, hit that subscription button if you haven't already. The notification bell will let you know when I post videos. You're going to want to leave a comment down below. Why? Because I'm doing a Q&A video coming up, maybe even multiple ones. So if you have any questions for me, now is the time to get them in the comment section down below. With that, you know what to do as well. Social media, all that, VERYGARY_comics. Give me a follow over on Whatnot. Every Tuesday night at 8:30 Eastern, I'll be doing auctions on Whatnot. And for the entire month of March, every Tuesday night at 8:30 is a giveaway show. Just doing it for March Madness. I call it what you will. Every show is a giveaway show. No auctions until the end of March at King Con, when I will be on doing auctions with artists Ryan Brown, Johnny D. Jardins, and Mark Morales from King Con. That is going to be a blast. All right, let's go. Let's get into this list. All right, I'm excited. We're going back 2 years, 2021. This is like the heart of when things started going crazy. So it's going to be really interesting to see those prices then and where they are now. Now, remember, this list comes to us from our friends over at Covrprice. Give them a follow on YouTube as well. They have their own channel, and there's a description. In the description down below, there's a discount code so you can get membership discounted. This list is, again, their top 10 trending from 2 years ago. We're going to go through how each title compares to the last market value from 2 years ago to today's current value. How did these comics do? What had a boost in price? And what was a bust? This is where we start at number 10. This is Star Wars Kanan, The Last Padawan, number 1. 2 years ago, rumors of Sabine Wren appearing in Star Wars TV content were just beginning to swirl. Fans rushed to this issue as it featured the first appearance of Kanan Jarrus and the first cameo appearance of Sabine Wren, as Ezra Bridger and Hera Syndulla. Definitely screwed those names up. That's okay. We're rolling with it. With all the Star Wars heat in 2021, fans loved books like this that were loaded with first appearances. It hit a high of $91 for a near mint raw copy, had a high sale of $390 for a CGC 9.8. 2 years later, the market made a big market correction and pivoted to issue 6, selling for $100 raw, $340 in a 9.8. While the cameo versus full debate can be unpredictable, the market greatly favored these characters' full appearances in issue 6 over the last page appearances in the first issue. Today, this first issue sells for $45 for a near mint raw, $180 for a 9.8. That's a 50% drop in 2 years. While it is a bust, keep in mind that this issue is still full of first appearances. Kanan Jarrus, who has plenty of potential to appear in future Star Wars content. This was about the time that all the Star Wars content was going wild. People were going crazy, buying up Star Wars left and right, and anything that had a major character first appearance or multiple first appearances in a book went insane. Obviously, these prices have been cut in half. Don't be surprised if you see a lot of that with the Star Wars stuff on this list. Don't be surprised if you see a lot of that on this list, because remember, 2 years ago, we're in the heart of not only the pandemic, but the explosion of hobbies across the board. Not just comics, sports cards, toys. I mean, everything, memorabilia, everything went crazy. Let's get down to number 9. This is Captain America number 25. It feels like a decade ago, but in 2021, unconfirmed rumors were recirculating that Sam Wilson, Anthony Mackie, would take on the mantle of Captain America in Disney Plus's The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, releasing in March. The rumor was supported by a toy image leak showing the Falcon in the Captain America-inspired costume, first seen in this issue. It trended as high as $80 for a near mint raw. Whew, that's a mouthful. And high sale of $220 for a CGC 9.8. Now, 2 years later, we know this was true. It seems that toy leaks tend to be the most accurate barometer of rumors. This book skyrocketed to a high of $144 for raw, $660 in a 9.8 as it heated up in the aftermarket. Yet as soon as we saw Falcon in the cap suit and the show ended, the market quickly bottomed out for this issue. Today it sells for $25 raw, $122 and a 9.8. While this was a big bust, it was mostly due to the long delay in seeing this new Captain America in action. Again, it lost a lot of momentum that will be hard to regain, though the raw sales are very low and could be a smart buy before we get a trailer for Captain America New World Order. These books seem to fall right back to where they were pre-pandemic, which is about a $20 to $25 book for the raw. 9/8, you're under $150. To me, this seems like a good book that may go up maybe another 10 to 25% when all the news and Captain America stuff starts coming back out. Villains, casting, dates, you start getting directors, which all that stuff may start really to creep out. There may actually already be a director. But anyway, as we start getting closer, you may see this book starting to creep up. Don't go out and buy the book. You hear me say this all the time. Just because I talk about something like that, do not put all your eggs in just don't. Don't buy what I talk about. Do your own research, do your due diligence, go do your reading, go see other YouTube videos, go do Twitter, do everything before you make any kind of purchases thinking any book's going to go up, because the future, you don't know. It's unpredictable. Look at these books. They cut in half again. Another book that cut in half. Let's go to number 8. Haha number 1. 2 years ago, this hot new series from Ice Cream Man writer Maxwell Prince sold a ton of copies in the aftermarket and trended at $35 for an ungraded copy, and a month later, $130 for a 9.8. Almost all variant covers were selling well. 2 years later, the market dropped. Is no laughing matter. Oh, clever. Falling back down to Covrprice, and 9.8's at $28, which is pretty much a loss after grading. This is a huge bust. But if you want the book and you want it in a 9.8, don't take your near mint copy and send it into CGC. Go just buy one for like $30, because if that's what it's going for, it'll cost you more to get it graded. So there you go. Look at that. Let's go to number 7. This is Star Wars, The High Republic number 1. This is the Stephanie Hans variant. In 2021, High Republic number 1 was hands down the hottest book of the year. It was on fire for months. It hit high raw sales of $25 and $139.99 for a CGC 9.8 on pre-sale. 2 years later, this first issue is still popular, but with numerous covers. The first issue took a dip to $15 raw, $60 and a 9.8. It's clearly still popular with numerous comic series and potential content series waiting for an announcement. Yet market fatigue and a high print run could have helped this turn into a bust. With that said, there's still potential in this. At these low prices, it could be a great time to buy into this first issue. I mean, you're talking $15 for a book with first appearances. Yeah. It just seems like a pretty good buy. Again, do your own research. Let's go to number 6. This is Avengers number 1 from 2010. 2 years ago, there were unconfirmed rumors that Azari T'Challa, son of Black Panther, T'Challa, and Storm, Aurora Monroe, from the X-Men, yes, the mutant, may take the reins of the Black Panther mantle in the MCU's Black Panther 2. His first appearance in this issue trended as high as $23 raw and $100 in a CGC 9.8. As no confirmations came, this book fell to its previous values. 2 years later, we saw a resurgence of sales when T'Challa's son, Toussaint, appeared in Black Panther 2. While that version has no comic book equivalent, fans still turned to this issue as his first and pushed it to $35 raw, $216 and a 9.8. Today, the market realized that this wasn't the best book to buy into and has let it fall to $14 raw and a recent 9.8 sale of $50. Another bust, but what an emotional roller coaster on a book. This is what happens when like mob mentality focuses on something. It drives the price up and everyone's like, you know what? This isn't right. This isn't the right book. And then boom, the bottom falls out. And don't be a part of it. Don't FOMO. If you think it's hot, grab it. If you don't, or you don't be a part of the FOMO. Don't be a part of it. Let's go to number 5, and this is another Star Wars book. This is The High Republic number 1. As noted with the Hans variant, this was the hottest book of 2021 with copies flying online for $20 raw, $80 for 9.8. 2 years later, this falls in line with the Hans variant, yet this standard issue had a more modest fall in price to $15 raw, $60 for 9.8. It's a bust, but still has potential. We just talked all about Star Wars. Let's get on to the next one. What else can we say? How about number 4? This is Future State Teen Titans number 1. Remember Red X? 2 years ago, DC hooked fans into wondering who the Future State Red X was. His first appearance on the last page was incredibly hot and trended at $25 raw and $130 for a 9.8. 2 years later, while Red X is not dead, his current whereabouts and activities are unknown. Where could he be? Raws still sell a slight bust of $19, but 9/8 are cheap at $50. This is a bust, but with James Gunn's tendency to pick up obscure characters, Red X can be an interesting buy if you can find a cheap copy. $50 for a 9.8 of a first appearance of a character that has not hit the big screen yet seems like a good bet. It just does. Let's talk some more Star Wars. Why don't we? Let's go to number 3. This is Star Wars Dr. Aphra, number 7. Star Wars Mania has been steadily driving Star Wars comics to new highs across all publishers over its 34-year history. Dr. Aphra is a character that fans eagerly await to see her appearance on Disney Plus or in theaters. This is the case today and was definitely the case in 2021. Despite the high market attention, retailers still underordered Star Wars books for their shelves and forced buyers to turn to online sales. With the first appearance of the spider-like criminal, Wen Delphis, it had a high sale of $15 for a raw copy, $70 for 9.8. 2 years later, Star Wars fans are chasing bigger Star Wars books with bigger first appearances. Today it sells for $7 raw and no recent 9.8 sales. This is a bust, but again, you have a first appearance of a character here in Dr. Aphra number 7. 9/8 are under $70. Raws are under 10. I don't know. It's worth taking a risk on, but again, do your own homework. Don't do anything I tell you. Just do your own homework. Don't listen to me. Let's go to number 2. We're getting close here. This is Slinger number 0. This time in 2021, there were unconfirmed rumors that Sony Pictures was developing a Dusk film, a Spider-Man related character that first appeared in Slingers number 0. This issue, a free preview bundled with Wizard number 88 from 1998, had a high sale of $35 raw, and a year later with one lone 9.8 at $150. 2 years later, there hasn't been a single confirmation of this, while we did get news of Spider-Man Noir live action series. A Slingers film seems unlikely. It's selling for $15 for a near mint raw, with some copies selling for as low as $1. This is a bust. Be careful with this kind of stuff, guys. Still, I mean, it's super cheap if you want the book. I mean, super easy. Now, we're going to go to our number 1 book on this list. I want to remind everybody, check out Covrprice.com. Check out Covrprice's YouTube channel. And don't forget to leave a comment down below asking me a question that maybe I'll put into a future video, a future Q&A video. Now, with that, why don't we talk about something we haven't talked about yet today, which is Star Wars, and get to our number 1 book. This is Star Wars Dr. Aphra, number 7. This is the Jenny Friesen 1 in 25. As mentioned above, most comic retailers don't meet the incentive requirements of ordering a minimum of 25 copies to get 1 copy of this variant. 2 years ago, supply could not keep up with demand, making this the most in-demand variant of the month, trending at $250 for a raw copy, and a month later, $400 for CGC 9.8. While, as noted, this has a first appearance, demand were driven by Jenny Friesen fans. Today, this sells for $125 raw, and oddly, only $169 for a 9.8, which makes no sense. It's a surprise bust that could see a spike in value when Aphra is eventually confirmed for live action. To me, you gotta go grab the 9.8 over a raw at those prices being so close together if you are interested in the book. All right, with that, we just wrapped up our top 10. Let's do some final notes here. Let's start here. Let's wrap it up. Maybe that's what we'll call it. We'll wrap it up right here. This was a clean sweep of busts. 2 years later, none of these books held their initial value. The lesson from this top 10 2 years ago was to wait out popular books with high print runs and unconfirmed rumors. Haha, while popular, was only a 6-issue series. Mini-series typically have poor long-term value. Be mindful of picking these up for investment. With that said, it was a fun one to read. The silver lining here is the low entry points for the High Republic. There's a lot of potential in that first issue and presents a great opportunity to buy into it at an affordable price. Guys, make sure you check out Covrprice.com, their top 10 movers and shakers list. Come back next time. We're going to go back 1 year and do this all over again. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, keep it comics.